Welcome students of Form 3, and this is part 4 of chapter 3 called the Judiciary. So I've made 6 videos in total already about the executive and about the legislature, 3 videos each, and in this part 1 of 3 videos I will explain things about the so-called judiciary. Again, if you're watching it from outside of Curacao, this might be helpful for you too, because the program and the CSEC program and the CXC program is used in the broader Commonwealth Caribbean, also known as the English-speaking Caribbean. The learning outcomes, this time it's describe the judiciary within the broader structure of government. So describe the judiciary within the broader structure of government. And if you heard music, that was from outside my garden. Yeah. So describe the judiciary within the broader structure of government is the learning outcome of this part 4 of chapter 3 to be found on page 44 of your book. And it actually looks a lot like this. Without the post-its, of course, because those are mine. Yeah? And that is page 44. Page 44, you can find the further information about this topic. Let's look at the topic. Judiciary is the legal system through which sanctions can be handed out. I'll try to write it down. Sanctions can be handed out. So sanction is like a consequence that you get when you've done something that is like crossing certain boundaries or not according to the rules. So in my own beautiful handwriting, sanctions can be handed out to individuals, organizations that break the rules. Yeah, break laws actually is better. Yeah, so if you break the law, the judiciary hands out sanctions. This could be like a money sanction or like a prison sentence, or it could be like another form of a sanction, a consequence because you didn't obey the law. And it also takes care of the following disputes. And a dispute is a difficult word for a disagreement. So persons or organizations don't agree with each other about something. That could be minor things like where do I put the fence? Or is my tree allowed to grow in the fence of the neighbors? Lila? Oh, Lila. Disputes between individuals or organizations can be, well, can be resolved. Resolved is a beautiful word for like taken care of or solved, yeah, or ended, in which one party gets the agreement or the one party gets like the point where it is said, okay, you're right and you're wrong. So disputes, disagreements between individuals and organizations can be resolved. So the judiciary is a legal system. Legal means according to the law, through which sanctions can be handed out to individuals, organizations that break laws. So sanctions can be handed out to individuals, organizations that break laws, like you can see here. And disputes between individuals and organizations can be resolved. Zahira, Laila, Zahira, Zahira is niet. Zahira, kom maar Zahira. Zahira, yeah, let me resolve. And this is structured in the Caribbean like this. On top, you have the Caribbean Court of Justice. So if you cannot find justice in the lower levels, you can find it there. One level lower is the Court of Appeal. One level lower is the High Court. This is about the civil and the criminal division. So you have civil High Court and the criminal High Court. And at the bottom, you have the Magistrates Court. So you start here, and if you don't agree, you can work your way up until you get at the Caribbean Court of Justice. So this is the structure of the court system in Caribbean countries. Well, you see, you can work your way up if you don't agree with a certain kind of verdict, and you work your way up one step to the next. And the highest level is the Caribbean Court of Justice. Okay, the key points. What are the key points that we did during this video? The judiciary interprets and administers the law. So on one side it says, okay, this is in the book, this is in the law book. How do we have to understand this? How do we have to interpret this actually? And two, the court system consists of magistrates courts, that's the first level, the High Court, that's the second level, the Appeal Court, that's the fourth level, and the Caribbean Court of Justice, that's level 4. So if you don't agree with a lower level, and if you have the money to buy a lawyer, you can always reach the next level actually. Yeah, and these are the key points that I talked about in this video. Again, here is the structure of the court system that we also talked about in this video, and with the 4 levels that I talked about here. That is, yeah, so that you can see here. If you have questions, you can ask them below. Again, those watching this from outside of Curacao, this also might be helpful for you. And we're talking about describing the judiciary within the structure of government. Enjoy your day, morning, or afternoon.